So thank you, Pasquale, for taking the time to answer our questions. So US President Trump has not only threatened EU countries over trade and territory, he has also pushed to undermine European tax sovereignty. Just days before he escalated his claims over Greenland, he has managed to secure an exemption for US-headquartered multinationals from the global minimum tax. This exemption effectively allows US multinationals to continue shifting profits out of Europe on a massive scale, avoid paying tax on profits generated here, and effectively leaves EU member states without a good countermeasure. So against this background, were you surprised that EU member states agreed to that deal, the so-called side-by-side deal, even though this meant giving up millions or billions in public revenues?
Well, it is really regrettable, first of all. Whether I was surprised or not, I really do not know, but I did not expect. I think that Europe, as the biggest economy in the world, because if we consider our market, our dimension, our GDP per capita, well, this is really integrated, the biggest economy in the world. I really regret the fact that, first of all, we had signed an agreement in Scotland, which today many leaders are asking to withdraw, because actually after not only Greenland, but as well after the Constitutional Court, the sentence of the Constitutional Court in states, this increased instability. So we have asked to suspend that Scottish agreement, the agreement that we signed in Scotland, because actually would give us some time to understand whether tariff policy is legal or not. And we know that it's not, first of all, it's not fine, but the constitutional law says even that it is illegal. Then I regret that Trump administration withdrew from Pillar 2, because this again increased the instability, undermined the level play field on which many firms here in Europe, but not only Europe, because more than 60 jurisdictions signed the Pillar 2 agreement. And it is good that finally we came to a conclusion, came to an agreement with the side-by-side approach, which is not the best we could sign, I think, but at least we do have an agreement today where Chinese and Americans abide as well. So that is the positive part of that picture, which in general is not positive. Then I would say that more in general we would have something to say in particular when for instance, Macron asked for anti-coercion instrument. I think that Trump administration was very aggressive towards Europe in several domains, in geopolitical terms, in commercial terms, and we could answer with having more strategic autonomy, starting from the tools that we can use. And another tool that we never use and we can use is the digital euro. I'm following very closely the debate on digital euro because this gives us, first of all, strategic autonomy. The Parliament expressed its votes 2 weeks ago in the Parliament saying that this is what we need to do because otherwise we are overwhelmed by the presence of Visa and MasterCard, openly say, and we know that we are not completely free. Because again, this American administration is very aggressive. And to come back to your initial question, you were surprised. I had a mission last fall with my committee and with the Parliament to Washington and New York, and we visited, well, some key player, key figure, political figure in at the White House, at the Treasury, in the Congress. And unfortunately, we already were informed about this change in the administration, the tariff policy, the the tax policy, the idea of withdraw from Pillar 2, and the idea of not having any advancement in Pillar 1, meaning the digital taxation. We were very disappointed about that. What I think we should have done after the aggressive policy was a more firm European strategic autonomy answer to economic interest of to preserve the economic interest of Europe. And so far we didn't show all our cards, to use the same language of Trump, in particular in economic terms.
Thank you. And coming back to the side-by-side deal, were you concerned about the fact that the deal was negotiated behind closed doors, without any room for parliamentary scrutiny, neither at the national parliaments, but also not for the European Parliament, and that neither the OECD nor any of the European countries has published some estimates about the revenue losses that this deal would cause ahead of the deal?
Well, we knew that the Commission was negotiating this deal. We were informed when we were in Washington for this mission. Of course, as you said, we were disappointed because we did not know the detail of this agreement. We discovered the detail of this agreement only at the beginning of January when they were released. So the Parliament could not intervene. The point is that tax policy is not a European policy, meaning that member states, they have a national sovereignty on that. So this is the justification that exclude, let's say, the Parliament in the first instance. However, given the European dimension of the discussion here, in particular when digital firms are concerned, I would really expect and hope for a role of European Parliament, because it's the only one which can preserve a real European interest and increase through that the strategic autonomy of Europe.
So meanwhile, the negotiation for the UN Tax Convention are live streamed around the world, and as part of the first ever globally inclusive process to set international tax rules. And at the core of the UN Tax Convention is the commitment for a fair allocation of tax, right, which would mean that companies pay taxes where they have their economic activity. Do you think there is a chance for European countries to use the UN Convention alongside the rest of the world to defend their tax sovereignty? And if there's a chance, do you think European countries are taking this chance?
Well, I have to say that we are following closely this work of the UN Convention. And the position of Europe has changed positively, meaning that changed from being negative in being at least waiting for some result. At the last vote, European member states, they abstained to the convention. Now, we as Fiscal Committee, we have decided just 1 week ago to send a delegation, to organize a mission there. So we are sending our observators there to follow the work of the closely beside our member states delegate as well. We will have our delegates as Fiscal Committee. I have to admit as well that I have one concern, meaning that it was already difficult to reach an agreement at OECD level. I don't think that it will be easier to reach an agreement at UN level, because countries are, again, the same but more. So what we have to understand there is that that forum is more representative. And if we reach to have an agreement at that level, this is even better, because it is more representative, and it is in this geopolitical change, in particular for Europe, this will be even more welcome than a smaller group. That's why we have decided last week to send some observators there and to follow closely the work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.